we are less than 1 week out from the Philando Castile verdict, where the police officer who, on camera from multiple angles, murdered him, walked free. And since then, several more videos have been released, and each one is admittedly very difficult to watch. We have one for you today to give you an indication of what was happening in the minutes immediately after Philando Castile was shot. And again, a warning, this one is particularly difficult to watch, but with that warning.
Mom, please help Cenk because I'm screaming because I don't want you to get shielded.
Okay, give me a kiss. My phone just died though.
I can keep you safe.
It's okay, I got it, okay? Come here. I can't believe they just did that. I could take these off?
No, please, no. I don't want you to get shielded.
Turn around, grab something real quick.
Mom, Daddy, they not gonna shoot me, okay? I'm already in handcuffs.
Don't take them off. If you like, take them off and you
All right.
everything's
That's
fine.
624. We're gonna put a 2-point shield. Raise the boy thing.
I wish this town was safer. Yeah, it does. We was living in.
That's true.
I don't want it to be like this anymore.
Tell that to the police, okay? When they come, okay? Tell them you wish that they didn't have to kill people.
It's so bad. I should have been told that.
Oh my God, I mean, I've like preparing for the show, I already watched that video, but still watching it again. Jeez, I mean, that's a 4-year-old kid. So the video you're seeing there is shot in the back of a squad car. It's Philando Castile's girlfriend, Diamond Reynolds, and their daughter, Dan. And it's a 4-year-old child saying, I want this town to be safer. The shooting was by a police officer.
Well, it's obvious that she was brainwashed by Black Lives Matter. She watches the news every day. She worries about these things because, you know, she's been told that that's what really happens. It's not her actual experience. She's 4 years old. She's in the back of a police car after watching her father get shot multiple times, and she was in the line of fire on top of it. And now she's in the back of a police car with enough wherewithal to try and tell her mother to try and calm down or else she's gonna lose her too. Minutes after losing her father. So you sit in the back of a car, you're 4 years old. How many of you guys have been in the back of a police car? How many adults that are watching the show have been in the back of a police car? Were you scared? Were you worried? Did you not know what was gonna happen next? Or did you have enough wherewithal to sit down and probably calm the person down next to you who's an adult, to have that wherewithal to talk to her because you don't want anything more to happen? Because she wants this town to be safer. This asshat that ran some campaign, I can't remember, but it was I think a local office. He's a former police officer, and his ad had police cars racing down the street and said, "This is a safe community." That's not safe to a lot of people in this country. How I don't understand how you can't get that, but so you can keep calling people just bad guys and bad apples from the beginning, or just it's just the nature of black people just to be evil and just ready to kill. Do you think she is? Or do you think something like this will teach her that she can't trust you? Which one is it? She just comes up with this out of nowhere? Or is this learned or is it natural? Just you have to ask yourself that question. How do you feel if you're in that position? Do you get mad? Or do you just sit there and go, yeah, you know, this is my fault that my kid is sitting there hugging me with handcuffs on, telling me not to take them off or else I'm gonna get shot?
Yeah, I mean, your point there, Jay, reminded me of what Scarborough said about Muslims in the Middle East. They hate us because they hate us. No, there's usually a reason, right? And so, you know, they say, oh, why do black people run away from the cops? Well, this is one of the reasons. So I both can't believe and I guess totally can believe that the Second Amendment enthusiasts in this country aren't going literally ballistic over this case. Here's a guy who had every right to carry that weapon, did exactly as he was supposed to. So if you guys don't remember the Philando Castile case, real quick background, gets pulled over. He's been pulled over 33 times. Not anything wrong he did. He's in the wrong part of town, being black, which is, I guess, all parts of town, right? And so, and he's a law-abiding citizen. He's got a good job. He takes care of his family. Not in trouble with the law, but they keep pulling him over, keep pulling him over, keep pulling him over. They don't give him tickets because he didn't do anything wrong. But they're just like, oh, black guy, pull him over, right? So in this case, he gets pulled over and he says, officer, I have a legally registered weapon. I just want to make sure you know it. And the cop flips out and shoots him. You know, what was the cop charged with? He was charged with second-degree manslaughter. Now, was it, in order to, it's not first degree, it's second degree. So you had to show that it was basically so negligent that it led to that man dying. That seems like that's exactly what happened, right? And he was also charged with 2 felony counts of intentionally discharging the gun. He didn't even get convicted of that. Nothing at all.
What, did he accidentally discharge the gun 7 times?
Yeah, and so if you're a Second Amendment advocate, does that mean that if you say you carry your weapon legally and you tell an officer he has every right to execute you, the guy got acquitted, so I guess he has every right to execute you the minute you say you have a legal weapon.
And as you point out, he wasn't just leading his life the way you're supposed to. That exact situation, he did exactly what you're supposed to. He told the guy as soon as he came up, he knows, I don't want this cop being surprised to find out I have a gun, so I better warn him in as calm a way as possible. He did that, and the cop unloaded like a bear was rushing at him. And think about the amount of fear that you have to operate with, that you're like 2 feet away from a person. They're sitting there, you have your gun pointed at their chest. And let's say this guy actually believed he had a gun. He thought, this guy Philando, he's just gonna go for it. Doesn't matter if there's a gun pointing at him, he wants to, like in an Old West duel, he just wants to see if he can make it happen. What kind of bizarre fictional world does this cop live in that he thinks a person would try to pull a gun in that situation? And then because he's so scared, he doesn't just fire, he fires 7 times almost point blank into this guy's chest. Knowing there's other people in the car, that there's a 4-year-old in the line of fire, he unloads as if he's trying to take out a tank.
If he was a white right-wing patriot who was carrying his weapon and the cops executed him like that, what kind of a fury would there be on the right? Imagine if it was a Bundy boy. And he said to a cop, oh, by the way, officer, I have a legal weapon on me with a certificate. And the cop just killed him on the spot. There'd be national protests over it.
And what excuse is there for there to not be? I mean, normally they'll come up with something. They committed a crime a few years ago. They used to have a profile picture I don't like. In this case, they've got nothing and they still don't care. They even know how hypocritical it looks, and even then they can't pretend to care.
So look, all this is a lead up to, if you do everything right and they still kill you, then don't black people have some justifiable reason to be afraid of the police? I'm not saying do anything bad against the police, of course not, right? Violence doesn't solve violence, it makes it worse, right? It makes people more jittery and leads to more violence against black people. But should you have a reasonable fear of cops if you're African American? If you're not, it's easy for you to say no. If you are, not so easy, right? Yeah. So, I mean, look, and as far as Black Lives Matter, do they matter? So to me, in some ways, and this video goes to show it, the most gut-wrenching stuff happened after the shooting. So the famous video that Diamond Reynolds, the woman you saw in that video, shot, is the cop, after shooting him, keeps pointing the weapon at him. It takes forever for them to get Castile out of the car. It takes forever for them to actually get him help.
Yeah.
And then she just saw her boyfriend get killed. They handcuff her. And they put her in the back of her car. Now look, let's put the racial stuff aside for a second. Let's look at class in terms of 2 justice systems. You think if you just shot the mayor of Beverly Hills and then you handcuff his wife, you let him bleed out, and then he dies, and then you handcuff his wife and have the 4-year-old in the back, that you don't get, I mean, the consequences would be so overwhelming, and it doesn't matter if you're white, black, rich, or poor, you know it in every fiber of your being that there would be massive consequences for that cop.
Yeah.
And here there are no consequences at all. So now finally we get to the Philando Castile's dead. His girlfriend's handcuffed. He bled out. The immediate reaction was, oh my God, I accidentally shot this guy. I gotta get him help. Somebody help, right? Why don't I help? Why don't I do CPR? No, my reaction is, no, cops need to be safe. My job is to protect and to serve, but not you, only me. Why do I pay you to protect and serve if you're only protecting and serving yourself, right? So then I make sure I take the person who's been terribly traumatized, handcuff them, and have their 4-year-old watch it. Look, the 3 things she said that absolutely broke my heart. I don't want you to get shooted. You have a 4-year-old? I have a 4-year-old. Coincidentally, I happen to have a 4-year-old daughter. They say things like that. Damn, oh God, could you imagine if your daughter had to say that to you or to say that to your wife?
I wish this town was safer.
I wish this town was safer. And she's not talking about the criminals. She's talking about the cops. And she at one point hugged her mom and said, I can keep you safe. But if you're African American in this country, that is something that is not guaranteed to you. And so, yes, it is appropriately named because they want Black lives to matter. And unfortunately, as you see time and time again, they don't seem to matter nearly as much as other people's lives in this country.
Yeah.
And it is heartbreaking to see that 4-year-old saying, I can keep you safe. And the only way that she can think of to keep her mom safe was she kept saying, keep your handcuffs on. Because if you're not handcuffed and you're a Black person in America, you're not necessarily safe.
And we know sadly from some incidents, even if you are handcuffed.
Even if you are handcuffed. We're not the Young Turks, you're the Young Turks. You power this show. Together, we built something amazing. We've broken stories like the Donna Brazil story the mainstream media wouldn't break. We built the studio, we built this network. It's now #1, all thanks to you guys. Let's come build it even bigger and stronger. TYTnetwork.com/join.